Hi, everyone. Good morning. Lori Jeskowitz here, money and manifestation coach. How's everybody doing? It's so good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, so I wanted to pop in because I had this really cool thought that's been kind of brewing for the past few days. And it came up again last night and again this morning. So I wanted to bring it and share it here with you. Hey, babe. So, what I was noticing was, and that's the title of this, is like, what were you expecting or what did you expect? And you know how, like, when you'll have a conversation with somebody, or maybe it's like your partner, spouse, person, friend, whoever, and you're like, and you want to, like, maybe it's a difficult conversation or it's something that you want to share with them, but it's like, you're like, oh, they're not gonna know what I mean, or they're not going to get this, or they're going to say, no, I don't do that, or no, I didn't do that. Like, whatever the thing is, and you're like, that's what they're going to say, right? It becomes this thing that you expect their response before you even have the conversation, right? But you're like, I got to have the conversation. And like, we got to talk about this. Maybe you put it off a little bit because, a few days goes by because you're like, oh, I just don't think it's going to make a difference. I just don't think anything's going to be different. And then a few more days go by, or maybe hours. And like, now you're really running that idea of like, oh, I don't know why I'm even going to bother saying this. So, but you know what? You see the person and you're like, okay, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to share with them what I need to know. Or maybe it's that you just want to ask them if they want to do something, like go to a concert. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's difficult. It can just be like, oh, they're not going to want to go, right? Or, oh, whatever the thing. So that becomes the expectation, right? So then when you have the conversation, guess what? The result is what you were expecting, right? Like, ugh, they didn't, I knew, and you even say, like, maybe it's in the disagreement of like, I knew you were going to say that. You always say that, or that's always your response, or you, like, whatever it is. Or when the person says, no, I don't really want to go to that concert. I knew you weren't going to want to go, but I thought, well, I'll just give it a shot, right? And it's like, well, that's what you're receiving because that's what you're expecting. So, and I couldn't help but notice, like, when we're manifesting or asking for more money or a promotion or a relationship or friends, or, whatever that type of support is that you were looking for, or whatever, then, like, what are you expecting to come in? So, like, for example, like, oh, I want to have $10,000 months. Okay. What is the expectation with that? Is it, oh gosh, like, that's not going to happen in a month, like, or that's just not enough time, right? Like, oh, that number's too big. Like, whatever it is, like, that is what you are expecting. You are expecting that number to be too big and I can't attain it or I can't have it. You are expecting, like, that person not to go to the concert. So then the person, typically is like not going to come to the concert because that's the expectation you're putting out. Or that dream house, or that dream whatever, or that promotion. Oh, so and so's going for it. They're going to get it. Like, you're expecting so and so to get it. And then guess what happens? So and so gets it, like 99% of the time, right? So, because this is it, like, yes, there's a piece of this that is our beliefs and things like that. Absolutely. And that goes with that is an expectation that becomes attached, right? And sometimes when your expectation is the thing that is running and running and running and running, and then you receive proof and evidence of how you were right, then that becomes that belief, what you are putting your faith and your trust in. Now you're running that over and over and over again because you've received all of this evidence of all the times you were right and the people didn't want to come to the concert, or so-and-so's reaction was what you were expecting. You have all of that proof running, and then you're actually creating the belief that then that's the way it has to be. That number's too big. I have to ask for less. That is too short of a time period for what I need to come in and for me to receive that. As you are running that expectation, if the expectation is there first of like, that's not enough time, I need more time. How much time does it take for you to do XYZ. Like, we are always overestimating how much time a task will take. You know, how many times have you like set aside extra time to like get to that spot, and like you get there and it's like, oh, I'm 15 minutes early or whatever. It's like, what are you expecting? Then with that, gain that proof and evidence over and over again, becomes that belief, that thing that you believe in, that you put your faith and your trust in, and that's what shows up. So when we're when we're going to do anything, the first thing we want to do is set that expectation. Like, or as we're like asking for the thing, we want to like work through, like, what am I expecting? That's where you want to get clear. What am I expecting? And, you know, because then that way we are, you know, expecting the best, expecting, you know, what we actually want to come from that, you know, catch it before we make a new belief, because that's what we're doing over and over all the time, making these new beliefs because we have an expectation. What we thought happens. We gain the evidence and the proof. We believe now it comes true. We believe it, and that's what shows up. It's just like, it's like the journey of like where a thought or an expectation begins, and ends. So yeah, like, so what are you expecting? What is it? How are you expecting that conversation to go? How are you expecting that trip to the doctor's office to go? How are you expecting that concert? Where are you expecting to be sitting? Where, you know, all of that. Like, how are you expecting this to go? And then as you start to like see those expectations come through, and then you gain, those are the neural pathways we want to run. That is the evidence and the proof that we want to gain, and then shift those patterns, habits, and those beliefs so that that is what you believe comes true, right? So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how powerful expectations are, and then how they become our beliefs and the evidence that shows up. So what are you expecting the next time that, like, you know, this thought pops up? You know, pause, check in. What are you expecting with this? What are you expecting to show up? What are you expecting the result to be? What do you want that result to be? And then take action from there. All right, everybody. I hope you all have an amazing day. Let me know what comes in for you. What is something that you have been expecting, and what's that result been? And maybe like you do this for yourself, and, you know, share with me what you noticed and what showed up. You know, because when we know that we are clearing and cleaning our side of the street, when we are like picking up all of the things that can be getting in the way, expectations, beliefs, holding on to that negative self-talk, you know, or yeah, because there's another situation where that can come in with that negative self-talk of, oh, I don't know enough to talk about this, right? And you start that expectation, that you bring that with you into when you go to write a book or when you go to write an email, and it begins to infiltrate all of the areas. So what is the expectation as you are going and, you know, and doing that? And what are the expectations? What are the conversations that are showing up in your mind, and what are you expecting for those to turn out, and how are you expecting those to go? All right. Everybody have an amazing day. Bye.